The only non-royal and non-episcopal property to be called a palace in England, Blenheim Palace is an 18th century house situated in the Woodstock village in Oxfordshire. Blenheim Palace is one of the finest examples of the English Baroque style of architecture. It was built between 1705 and 1733 for John Churchill, the first Duke of Marlborough, in recognition of his army's victory over the French in the Battle of Blenheim in 1704. Queen Anne, delighted with John's victory at the battle, gifted him with land and property to build Blenheim Palace. In return, the Marlboroughs were required to provide a new standard like the French standard taken on the battlefield to the reigning king or queen each year, a tradition that continues till date. The palace was designed by the architect Sir John Vanbrugh and Nicholas Hawksmoor, while the estate was landscaped by Lancelot Capability Brown. The construction of the palace was halted briefly in 1712 when John and his wife Sarah, who was also a close friend of Queen Anne's, were dismissed from their royal posts. A Romano-British temple existed on the Blenheim estate. The estate was also a part of the Royal Hunting Park under Henry I. Several medieval features, such as Fair Rosamond's Well and a medieval motte dating to the 12th century CE, have been found on the estate. Blenheim Palace was designed to be a national monument, and the emphasis on grandeur is visible in the Baroque architecture of the palace. The plan consists of main block being approached from the north by a great forecourt flanked by two wings, one on each side. The central entrance is the portico surmounted by a pediment. There are also prominent towers at the four corners of the main building with sculpted finials. The state apartments are entered through the Great Hall. The ceiling in the Great Hall was painted by James Thornhill and depicts the military success of the first Duke of Marlborough by showing him as Mars kneeling in front of Britannia. The connecting corridors showcase various collections of Marlborough family. The Green Drawing Room is where one can see first of Nicholas Hawksmoor's original ceilings. The use of coving and banding gave an impression of height, while the carved designs were covered in gold leaf. The southern part of the block consists of the staterooms. The saloon was originally designed as a grand reception room to celebrate the first Duke's achievements. It's now used as dining room by the family. The wall paintings depict men from all nations. The ceilings show the first Duke in victorious progress but restrained by hands of peace. The first stateroom consists of tapestries depicting a different campaign. The staterooms, such as the state bedchamber, also displayed Boule-style furniture. The room also has a 17th century Japanese porcelain kekimun jar donated to the palace during the 4th Duke's time. An important part of the palace is the Long Library. It was originally created as a picture gallery but was later converted to a library. The ceiling is by Nicholas Hawksmoor and the floor is made of English oak. The library was used as a dormitory for Malvern College during the Second World War. The statue of Queen Anne was installed by the first Duchess to remind the future generations of their debt of gratitude to the Queen for the palace and the estate. The organ at the end of the room was built in 1891 by Henry Willis. Another significant structure in the palace complex is the chapel. Designed by Sir John Vanbrugh, the chapel is dominated by a massive memorial dedicated to the first Duke of Marlborough, which was commissioned by his wife Sarah. The chapel was intended to be plain for attention to be drawn to the large monument. The furnishings are later Victorian additions. The palace also has an Indian room, which was decorated with French scenic wallpaper by Vuillé, Paris known as Paysage Indien in 1826. The set of 19 panels depict Oriental scenery inspired by the hunting traditions in India. Visitors can also see the birthroom of Winston Churchill and a permanent exhibition about him. The Marlborough family still lives in the palace in the private apartments. Given its architectural legacy, Blenheim Palace was inscribed as a World Heritage Site in 1987 and is open to visit. It is perhaps the biggest architectural dedication to the Blenheim battle, which was also immortalized in the poem After Blenheim by the English Romantic Poet Laureate Robert Southey in 1796.